Now, one business, one source, one means of income cannot sustain you in the midst of disaster. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, I think from verse 1, it said, cast your bread upon many waters. You never can know the one that will succeed. Are you listening to me? Now let me explain to you. If I bring a $50 bill now, if you want to be rich, if you keep eating from the $50 bill, you are eating your seed and eating your future. How many of you have noticed plantain? Anytime you cut a plantain in Africa or banana, before you cut that banana, 4 are already growing in the stem. You've noticed that? If you harvest any plantain or you harvest any banana, for every banana you are harvesting, 3 or 4 are growing around at the stem. So also, for any money you spend, you must have the foundation that will produce 3 of that kind of money. Let me explain to you. Let me use a simple example. I preached a message on wealth. Money is an idiot. I have the sample at home now. I'm reviewing them. Do you know I didn't sleep most of this night? I was reviewing mine. After I left here, I got back home, slept a little bit, woke up. I've reviewed 3 books now. I have 2 more to go on paper, 1 in my phone, and I need to write a book on this journey. And so most nights I don't sleep. You think I will now go? Somebody took me out to eat big meal today now, eat meal. Then I go and start snoring like a generator. I go home again till I was in Australia. If you see their buildings, if you see their trains, if you see their roads, if you see their traffic lights, that won't make me rich. You're a storyteller, you're not a history maker. So, I wanted to go and preach somewhere to the Assemblies of God, the whole of Nigeria. They were gathered somewhere. I wanted to go and preach. And I was feeling sleepy. I have a very beautiful wife. I was feeling sleepy. And there was the temptation to go to Jerusalem. You know what I mean by going to Jerusalem? You don't know what I mean by going to Jerusalem? You don't know? No. I wanted to go to the airport and fly to Jerusalem. If you know, you like, you know, you like, you don't know. I wanted to go to Jerusalem. And my spirit told me, don't go to Jerusalem today. Don't go on pilgrimage today. Open your eyes and write this book. I got up, drank Lipton tea, and wrote the book till morning. Published the book. That book was giving me $250,000 naira every month. And Jerusalem was open, the airport was there, everything clear. I'm a shareholder, Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. And so, that book was giving me $250,000 every month. Let's say $2,000 or $1,500. I could have been satisfied with that. You know what I did? I went to preach and they recorded the messages like this. I took those messages, put them in 3 DVDs. Wealth 1, Wealth 2, Wealth 3. I started selling each one for a certain amount. And so, instead of that single message, I had 4 streams of income from that one message. Did you people understand me? Yes. No? Did you understand me? Yes, sir. No, you didn't understand me. You did? You did? One message I preached, I wrote it into a book. The book was giving me money. I divided the same message into DVDs, 3 DVDs. And each DVD was selling at the price of the book. Are you following what I'm saying? One message, like the message I'm preaching now. If I just preach it like this as a pastor, and you come and give your offering, that is the end of the message. But if this message, since they are on YouTube, and I tell people on YouTube to pay a certain amount before they can download it, they are ready to download, I will get some money. Not so. I take this same message and write it in a book. I'll get money. Not so. I take this same message and put it in DVD. I'll get money. Not so. Now, when I get home, all these messages, I'm going to download them into DVDs. I'm going to burn the DVDs. Each DVD will sell at a certain amount. I've preached for how many days now? And so I will have several DVDs with Australian background and with a white woman attending the church service. It will make it even sell more. Don't you know you will increase the quality of my DVD? And in an international audience with Sierra Leoneans and Liberians, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. And in a beautiful environment. If I don't put that napkin around my head, always remember that napkin. That if you can't use your head, he who uses his head will take your money. He who uses his head will rule over you. The story you were sharing now, if you didn't use your brain, you won't sing again.
I would have lost the job.
And you will have lost the job. You don't just allow your brain to be trampled upon. And so, I give you an example. We planted plantain in my house. My mother-in-law has diabetes. And so, it is the plantain she eats. But she can't eat all the plantain. And we can't eat all the... And God blessed me, my plantain produces 2 at once. So what do? We slice the plantain and sell it as potato chips. And I have 500 and something children in the school. And so they buy potato chips. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I bought 25 acres. Instead of allowing the bush to lie fallow, I planted the same plantain there. So, in a year, at least I'm reducing the cost of my land by harvesting plantain and making plantain chips. Somebody does not understand me. Do you? Yes. No, let me take it a little bit further. Malaysia, you've been to Malaysia. Malaysia came to Nigeria, and this is the fundamental problem with the black man. If a white man is in prison, he will write a book on the prison. How he went to prison. There's a man, an Australian in Indonesia, in Bali now. I think they want to execute him or whatever. If the Australian government and the New Zealand government and the British government and American government put in enough effort and they free Andrew, Andrew will write a book. If I'm walking through the valley of the shadow of death, it will sell. Are you understanding what I'm saying? He will act a film on it. It will sell. Am I talking to somebody? He will deliver lectures on it. They will pay him. It is the same experience. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Now,
except that there are laws here that say you can't benefit from a crime.
the what?
You can't benefit from crime.
Okay, you can't benefit from crime.
We would not be allowed to write the book and sell the book because it's from a crime.
Okay.
So there are laws here about that.
But this man, Charles Colson, have you read about Charles Colson?
Yeah.
The Watergate scandal.
Okay.
The Watergate scandal. Charles Colson of the Watergate scandal just going to prison because of Richard Nixon. Look for Charles Colson's book. He wrote a book on it, and I bought the book. He became a public speaker, and they gave him honorarium. And he started a ministry. So he did 3 things from the experience. And in some countries, once you've served a penalty for a crime, you have paid the price of that crime. Okay. Be that as it may, I'm telling you about how to expand wealth from a single source. Look at what Malaysia did to oil, palm oil. Somebody say palm oil.
Palm oil.
Tell the neighbor, shine your eye.
Shine your eyes.
Tell the neighbor, mumu time don't pass.
Mumu time don't pass.
Look at what Malaysia did to palm oil. Nigeria gave palm oil to Malaysia. Malaysia took the palm oil, palm seedlings, grew them, produced palm oil. If you take what we do in Africa is that we use palm oil to cook soup and we use it to eat yam, use it to eat plantain. Is that okay? You know what Malaysia did? They just did bleaching. What is bleaching? Bleaching is heating palm oil and removing the carotene in it. It turned to vegetable oil. By making it vegetable oil, the price increased. They put the same vegetable oil in containers and sent back to Nigeria, and we bought in foreign exchange. How come Malaysia took the same oil, they added sodium hydroxide and produced soap from the same oil. They took the same oil, they are producing diesel from it. They took the palm kernel. In Nigeria, we use the palm kernel to eat corn. But you know what they did? Anukwa. You know what they did? They just crushed the palm oil and produced PKO, palm kernel oil. They added sulfonic acid and produced detergent. We started importing clean and the rest things from Malaysia. When you do detergent, there's a byproduct called glycerin. When you take glycerin and put inside oil, they will use it to do your hair, to put in your hair conditioner. The same glycerin, if you add nitric acid and it becomes glyceronitrate, you use it to make bomb. And you use it to do mining, explosive for mining. Then that's part of kernel seed. When you eat it, there's a white thing that you spit out. You know what the Malaysians did? They took that chaff, added methionine, lysine, calcium, and some other things, and produced animal feed for their feet. The shell, that shell, they used it to generate energy. There's something you squeeze, when you squeeze palm oil, there's one chaff that you use to make fire. You know what they did to their own? They added cement to it and vibrated it and produced roofing tiles. They make toothpick from the hands of the branches. Malaysia made $6 billion from palm oil alone. If they tap the palm tree, they produce palm wine. Africans will drink their own. They will use their own to produce ethanol. If you mix the ethanol with gasoline, you reduce your price of fuel, it becomes gasol. Sugar cane in Sierra Leone, in Makeni area, you just eat it and throw away. But Adaks came. They took the sugar cane, they crushed it. When they crushed it, they produced sugar. They fermented it and produced ethanol and exported to their country. The bagasse, which is that thing that you eat and throw away, they used it to generate 30% of the electricity of Sierra Leone now. What we throw away. And then there's something called molasses that comes from sugar cane. And then you produce, you know, Ajinomoto. One thing that like Maggi is produced from sugar cane. Do you know 1 hectare of sugar cane will produce more paper than 1 hectare of wood? Sugar cane. But the sugar cane was in Makeni area. Black man was eating it and throw away. That is how your life is. There's so much you are eating and throwing away that if you use that napkin to wrap your head a little bit, there are more products in it. Never ever after this seminar look at anything casually. Whatever you look casually will turn you to a casualty. I was in Madagascar. I go there every year. Madagascar has bamboo. This Indian bamboo. Do you know you eat Indian bamboo? The bottom. Don't you have Indian bamboo in your area? You don't have Indian bamboo in Sierra Leone. Don't you know bamboo? It grows tall. Sometimes you use it to make yam, to stick yam. Sometimes you tear it to make fence. Seat. Do you know they make tiles from it in Madagascar? Do you know the white man came to Taiwan? It doesn't grow in their country. They came to Taiwan, came to Africa, and took that thing, and they have a way of shredding it. They will add a chemical to it and use it to produce shirt. Do you know you can produce shirt from bamboo? It is more expensive than silk. And so what have I learned from life? In India, there is a machine that shreds the plantain stem. You know the plantain stem? When you harvest plantain or banana. That stem, they use it to make rug. They use it to make bags. There's a machine that shreds. One of the problems, I'm talking to you as my fellow black men. If a white person talks to you, it will be like an insult. I'm not preaching to her. I'm preaching to you now. Her case is different from our own. One of the fundamental problems we have with our race is that we only eat the immediate. In Nigeria, the same oil money. Norway has the same oil money. But you know what Norway does? Norway does not eat their money raw. They invest it. It is the profit that they use in Norway. So as the price of oil went down now, the economy of Norway is not shaking. But in my own country, as the oil comes, the money of the oil comes, all the governors will meet, they will just share it, carry away some, go to Europe and buy houses, some marry more wives. Imagine a governor of my age mate, 50-something years, marrying a 13-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl from Egypt. Yes? Didn't you read it? I'm telling you, from Egypt. His last daughter is about 20-something. You know, we are stupid. It's only me that can tell us that we are stupid. Please don't, if you're angry, I will apologize later. You just, how much, these parties you are going to, how much do people spend in the parties? Somebody from Sierra Leone, you came here instead of thinking of home. Somebody from Liberia, you came here instead of thinking of home.
And every time they go,
Azonto, Mumu. Spend $10,000, $5,000 for a party here. Who are you? The people who are hosting you here, do they spend money like that? When we do burials at home, we do big burials. Is it a king that died? Your father that you didn't take care of that died. Is it now you take care of him? Tell your neighbor, say respect money. Because it is your sweat. Tell your neighbor it's your sweat. And it is your blood. And your life. Don't spend it anyhow. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? So that's every money you get, expand it. Now let me come and give you another thing. Can I have a bottle here? Bottle of water. I used to have one here before. Or have I stayed with you for too long? Now you stop giving me water. Bring it. Okay, man, don't worry, sit down. Let me not, now something, this is, I know, sit down. Something more than water is come. Jesus told them that he's not ready to eat. Bring the other one. Please listen to this. What stopped the flow of oil? Huh? No containers. Now listen very carefully. You can pay your tithe and still be poor. Why? Malachi chapter 3 down, it says that when you pay your tithe, I will open the windows of heaven and pour down a blessing until you have no room to contain it. Not so? Now listen. The only debt that God owes you is that when your container has no room again, God stops. So, number one, if you are working for somebody and you are depending on salary, you are like this bottle. You are closed. If God must bless you, he must bless your boss. Because it's through your boss that you are blessed. And if you live in an economy like this that is highly regulated, there is a minimum wage and there is a competitive market. What your cleaning agency is paying